This episode of the Golf Gambling Podcast from the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Get up to $1,000 deposit match when you sign up with code UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code GolfSGPN. Sports Gambling Podcast is back with their 32-team NFL previews. They're bringing back the phrase that pays. Each episode, they'll give out a word of a one word of a 32-word phrase. Submit the phrase for a chance to win a $1,000 Circa future. Speaking of Circa, is the world's greatest sports book in Las Vegas, hosting the biggest pro football contest, Circa Million, Circa Survivor, and the Circa Grandissimo, over 21 million in guaranteed prizes. Come hang out with SGPN at the Circa contest August 21st to 23rd for an amazing weekend, including live shows, live bets, plus you get a 15% off your stay at the Circa with promo code SGP15. Contests are open to everyone. Sign up in Nevada and play from anywhere. With the help of SGPN's official proxy, go to footballcontest.com and use code SGP to get $50 off your proxy fees. We're back. Another episode of the Golf Gambling Podcast, talking some 3M Open. Before we get to the 3M Open, let's touch a little bit on that little major we just had. Scottie Scheffler won it, obviously. Again, how much did you watch? Were you waking up early? What was your Open viewing schedule and overall take on the Open?
Yeah, I was watching extremely early, and then I did watch on the weekend. Sunday I pretty much watched the front, and that was about all I needed to watch for the most part. I watched him finish it out, but it was, I was on VEASAN Saturday night, and I pretty much said it was over when it started. Even if he was tied for the lead heading into Sunday, I don't think it really mattered. And obviously, the 4-shot lead was like, there's almost no way he would have lost that.
No, he would have. He looked like Scottie Scheffler out there. Hot take. He looked like himself out there. Whenever there was trouble, he was draining those 20-footers. What's just like what makes him so different is like he was not great off the tee. He was not great around the greens, which he's usually great at. And those little parts of his games that are leaking. Oh, let me have the best putting week of my career. Like he fills the voids when he needs to fill the voids, and just truly makes it happen. So I thought it was a fun watch. I just love this time of the year. Obviously, with this, we called Scotty on Monday's pod, Tuesday's pod, whenever we did it. It made sense. It was almost too obvious with the way we thought the course was going to play. So shout out us for that call. And hopefully we can have another one this week into a more regular PGA Tour stop.
Yes. And then did you want to touch on the other major that took place this week at the Barracuda Championship?
Yes and no. Like, it's just our guy, friend of the program, Ryan Gerard. We talk about him heavily. We're big Gerard stands. And the one time he putts, oh boy, he has the easiest win maybe ever.
And it got a little scary towards the end. Sadly enough, I watched more of the Barracuda closeout than I did the Open Championship, but he made that long eagle from off the fringe that I thought sealed it, and then made a couple bogeys because he all of a sudden lost his putter. And I tweeted about him finding his putter, and right when I did, Gerard went back to Gerard. But it is unfortunate that we have said so many times on the pod that he will be a PGA Tour winner one day. I didn't know it would be this year exactly. I don't care if it was an alternate event, whatever the case may be, but it kind of sucks, and I kind of have FOMO because unfortunately the Open Championship kind of takes all your energy and focus. So I didn't even look at the Barracuda odds boards. If I would have, I'm sure I would have been on him at any number. I don't even know what he went off at.
He went off at around 25, and I started my card at Hoey 30-1. So I was obviously had a sweat on Sunday. Hoey Gerard final group, and then I didn't not know this until recently. Hoey hit every single fairway on Friday and Saturday, and then obviously on hole 1 on Sunday, blasted at OB, horrible start. Can't lose points in Stableford's scoring format. And that is exactly what he did. So it was a tough look for Ulrico on Sunday, but a sweat nonetheless. But we're here to talk about the 3M Open. The 3M Open. What are your course keys around TPC Twin Cities, a golf course that we see pretty often on the PGA Tour? Fun week, honestly, in my opinion.
Yeah, an event that was added, I think, around COVID to the PGA Tour schedule. But looking at some approach buckets, birdie or better, obviously. It's shockingly enough not one of the easier courses on tour, but the winning score is always right around like 20 under, give or take. So I'm definitely weighing in birdie or better. I know there's a lot of bunkers. I think in like 2023, rain washed them out and they kind of redid some or even added some to the course. So can look at sand saves if you want. They're pretty big greens. So if you're missing them and you're hitting out of the bunker often, you're probably screwed anyways. So when we do have bigger greens, I like to look at proximity on those. But anything that you're kind of honing in on?
Yeah, we see great approach play get to the top this week, but it is fueled by great driving, both long and straight. This is not a week where you want to miss fairways because you need to make so many birdies this week that if you're not in position to make birdies, you're not going to be able to. So you have to hit fairways because you're going to have long irons in no matter what. And if you're hitting long irons from the rough, you're not going to hit it close enough to make nearly enough birdies. So driving it straight, whether that's accurately, whether that's long and straight, obviously long and straight is much better. The winners are generally much longer and straighter than the field, but I think if you look in the top 20 market, there's going to be some plotters that are around. Like I remember 2 years ago, I think Troy Merritt led the field off the tee, and like Troy Merritt is one of the most benign drivers on tour, and he just hit every single fairway and minted just pars and birdies to have like a top 10 finish. But I'm looking at that driving to set up elite approach play. So yeah, that's pretty much TPC Twin Cities in my opinion. And currently, if you go over to DraftKings Sportsbook, Chris Gotterup is the co-favorite at 18-1 with Sam Burns, Maverick, Wyndham, Grazerman raised out everyone sub 30-1. I doubt you're starting here, but what are you doing? What are you doing?
I'm tempted by Gotterup. Usually I don't like to chase a guy who's as hot as he is, but the fact that he's still playing, like, I mean, rewind to 2022 when he was getting all these sponsor exemptions. I think you brought him to my attention, but we both kind of fell in love with his game.
Yeah.
I think he's finally arrived. Like, he is gaining strokes across the board week in and week out. And that wasn't even the case like 4 months ago. He was pretty bad all the way around. Like
Yeah.
he had showed flashes over the last 2-3 years that, hey, this guy can be really good. But obviously the last 2 weeks, he's proven that he's arrived. And I mean, he's even made 2 straight cuts at the 3M Open, up to 27th in the world. I just don't know.
Crazy.
I think the best number you can get on him is 25-1.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense for him. And if he won, it would be such a generational stretch for him.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to argue. It's hard to argue Gotterup right
It is
now.
crazy because I mean, it's a great golf course for Chris Gotterup because,
It is.
and the one reason like we fell in love with him when he was back when he was 23 years old, like he came he came to the tour with an elite skill set. He was his rookie year, he was like pot Getter this year, and obviously pot Getter's a winner already. Like came to the tour like leading the tour in driving distance, being one of the best total drivers on tour. That is a massive skill set on the PGA in golf. Like the best players in the world are the best drivers in the world. And when you have that, it sets up the rest of your game. And he's finally figuring it out. He's all green across the board the last few events. And obviously that's paying off with the Scottish Open win. I got my Scottish Open little crew neck on set to commemorate that Gotterup 100-1 win. Always got to grab something. And he obviously backed it up last week. So I think Gotterup is also my pickup here, but actually pulling that trigger at this number is probably going to be a no from me. So I think I'm out on CG this week. And is there anyone else that you would give a second to in this range, or are you probably skipping if anyone's just Gotterup?
It would be Gotterup. I mean, it's hard to deny what Wyndham Clark is doing, but just considering what he did leading up to this, again, the number just doesn't do it for me. If he was in like the 30s or 40s, maybe, but 25 is a little bit too short. I think this course sets up really well for Maverick McNeely.
Great course history.
Again, the number I'd rather not.
Yeah, I think I'm going to need a 25 on Maverick to get there, and it doesn't seem like right now we're going to be able to get that. So this is maybe where we start our cards. We got Pendy 30, Siwoo 30, Mike Thorpe, it might be popular, might not be because the buzz might be wearing off. Then Tony and Akshay, Kurt, Jake Knapp, Fowler is 30 to 40. Two guys in here you want to mention that you like?
I got two guys at 40.
Okay.
I think I might pull the trigger on Kurt Kitayama again.
Talk me through it. Talk me
So
through it.
his last two were pretty good, obviously. T14 at the Barracuda, fell off a little on Sunday. T5 at the John Deere. His irons are hot. He's playing really good off the tee. Around and on the green are horrible, which is what scares me. He was T6 here last year. Everything was working. Second from tee to green. So I think 40 to 1 for Kurt Kitayama is solid compared to some of the guys ahead of him. Do you want to comment on that before I go to my next 40?
I want to do some research on Kurt Kitayama while you're telling me your next one because I may or may not have a stat with Kurt Kitayama. So
All right.
go to your next one.
So my next guy, I'm going to Akshay Bhatia.
Okay.
His game is finally starting to turn around. Back-to-back top 30 finishes, which isn't crazy, but considering where we have been with Bhatia, I think we'll take that. He's gained 2 or more strokes off the tee in his last 2 events. Final round at Portrush, 2 under. He was 8th in approach in the final round on Sunday. And then just looking at the Rocket stats, his T26 was pretty impressive. Led the field in ball striking, and he was 2nd in approach. We know that Bhatia can be really sharp with the irons, but seeing a guy finish outside of the top 20 and finish 1st in ball striking, 2nd in approach is pretty impressive.
That is good stuff.
I've talked in the past and earlier this year about comping this course to the Mexico Open because they're both 7,400 yard par 71s with a lot of bunkers, kind of similar scores. And that was one of Akshay's only top 10s this year where he finished solo 9th at Vedanta. So I think I am going to pull the trigger on Akshay. Kurt is the one that I'm up in the air on.
Okay. I have my Kurt take, and I might get you off him or on him, blow your mind. Right now, what do you think the winning score is going to be this week? If you had to guess the score.
I would go with 18.
Okay. It's been around the 18 to 15 number recently. Lee Hodges brought it to 24. Early forecast this week, 0 wind. I'm thinking it's going to be 20 plus. Kurt Kitayama has been a Korn Ferry Tour / PGA Tour professional since 2014. He's never once, ever gotten a 20 under or lower. Ever. Not even Kapalua. Got to 19 under at Kapalua. Kurt Kitayama has never done it. I haven't looked at his DP World Tour history, but in 10 years on the PGA Tour and the DP World Tour has never broken 20 under.
I'm not going to lie. That shocks me.
It's a good nugget, right? I felt it, and I had to research it while you were talking.
Yeah, there it is. Century 19 under. Yeah. And that's not even good there.
No, 30. You need to double that at the Century. We can shoot 19 under at the Century. Yeah, so
I'm not on there. You talked me out.
Yeah, all right. I'll give you a guy that I like here. Mike Thorbjornsen.
Yes.
Number is a little bleak, but the buzz around Mike T, around the John Deere, around the ISCO championship was through the roof. I think it's dying down now. And I think I'd be willing to wager 35, 40 to 1 Mike T in a field like this on a golf course that really suits his style, and a guy that also I think suits the style, that it's at a similar number, 50 to 1, which I'll jump to that range right now. Yeah. Luke Clanton. Yeah. I mean, buy the stock of the young guns. I might go to all young gun card this week, and I'll throw in the third guy too, Jacob Bridgman, Luke Clanton, and Michael Thorbjornsen. They all have kind of similar but kind of different games. Mike T is probably the most stern ball striker. Luke Clanton is an elite driver, and Jacob Bridgman has shown elite ball striking prowess at the Memorial. Was all green in this event across the board last year, and was all green at the John Deere Classic. So Jacob Bridgman's checking some boxes too. I'm going with the young guns this week. I really do think so.
And we're really buying a dip on Clanton because last year at this time was when he was just finishing in the top 5 every other week. Like right when the end of July hit, right when all the majors finished kind of and the golf season kind of fades away is when Luke Clanton was getting his sponsor exemptions and just an auto top 5. And he was coming in at like 30-1 every week. Well, this is obviously not a strong field. Like you said, his game sets up really well for it. But I think just considering what he's done over the past few weeks with a full membership on the PGA Tour, I mean, his off the tee and approach is fine.
Yeah, he's not putting. Yeah, no, I totally agree. How you feel about Bridgman? Because I know you have some Bridgman love usually.
Yeah,
you like Bridge?
I like Bridgman as well. And like you said, I kind of like going to these younger guys, especially at a tournament like the 3M Open, because I mean, quite literally anyone can win. There's not a stud in the field, really. I mean, sure, Goddard's playing great. Mav, Sam Burns, Wyndham Clark, whatever, but I don't think you're really threatened by anyone. I'd rather just have more bullets down the board.
Bridgman shot 63 in round 1 here last year. I believe he was the first round leader at this event last year. So a lot of that probably was in round 1 with the all green across the board, but he's becoming a more complete player, becoming more comfortable, and he's best boys with Goddard. So throw in strokes gained best friend leading to wins. Also, strokes gained best friend Ben Griffin and Ryan Gerard, 2 winners on tour. So why can't Goddard and Bridgman win this year? All right, I'm not going to name everyone from like 50 to 70, but I'll start off with a name, Nicholas Norgard. I think it's a great golf course for him.
Yeah.
Tap into that elite long and straight driving and then set up some birdie making ability. I don't know why he's 65-1. I wish he was triple digits because he hasn't really done anything. But yeah, I like Norgard. Who do you like from this 50 plus range?
I'm kind of tempted on, and like I said, I don't usually do this when guys have a good week, but Haotong Li 70-1 with a top 6 each way. Just because, like, I was pretty impressed that he hung in there the whole week.
He did. He was minting fairways.
He was, and getting to watch a little bit more of him on Sunday, obviously playing side by side with Scheffler. I was expecting him to kind of fall off. Usually when somebody like that gets into the final group, they'll like push themselves out of the top 10. Yeah. He hung in there. I mean, the first hole, he threw a dart within 5 feet. He's pretty much a lock to get his PGA Tour card next year through the DP World Tour top 10. Technically leads in points over there because the only 2 that have more race to Dubai points are Rory McIlroy and Tyrrell Hatton, who obviously are both exempt or cannot play on the PGA Tour. Obviously, I talked Haotong Li up at the Scottish Open, missed the cut. Unfortunately, fell off of my radar on the Open Championship, and that's on me because we've both learned that if you bet a guy and you're all in on a guy and they miss the cut, that doesn't mean you just cross them out the next week.
Right. No, I 100% agree with you. Haotong should be in for a good week. I don't know if I'm going to be in the Haotong camp.
Pretty good. And he doesn't have any status right now. He clearly wants to play over here. And
did you see what he said to Scotty in his interview after the round? How he asked Scotty if he could practice with them and stuff. Like he was boys with them. I thought that was funny.
And he did mention in that about when he's on the PGA Tour next year, like he is locked in, like taking his card because sometimes the DP World Tour guys don't really care. Like they want to play over there. Most of them obviously are going to take their card or membership, but it just depends like how much they're going to play. But yeah, like I said, Haotong is pretty much locked in. He only got into this because of his top 10. So if he finishes top 10, he'll get into next week's event and so on and so forth. And if he creeps into the top 50 in the OWGR, he can pretty much play whatever he wants in the fall. So I think 70-1's extremely fair considering the field.
I want to go down a little bit, 80-1. I want to ask, do you think this golf course is too long for Doug Gim? He's top 20 here, like at a high rate, but I don't know if he has a spike because he's going to hit every fairway, but he's going to be playing from further back. I think this is a better top 40 play than outright, but if it gets towards like 100, I can do it. I mean, Doug Gim loves a TPC track.
I don't know. I don't think it's too long for him exactly, but yeah, you're right. It might be a top 20 play. I wish it was a little bit longer of a number.
I agree with it because I bid at 100 at Deer Run, and he was obviously in the mix there.
Yeah.
Now it's not like 80 and 100 are that different, but I don't know. I just wanted to ask you about him because I'm definitely looking at him. Maybe I'll throw him in the positional market later in the show. Anyone else you like before we get to triple digits?
I'll stay at 80 for one more and go with Bo Hostler.
Yeah,
3
I
straight
agree.
top 15 finishes. That stretch includes 7 straight made cuts. Had the best Sunday of anyone at the prestigious Barracuda Championship, gaining 17 points. Mixed results at the 3M over the years. Made cut, missed cut every other year, basically, with a T13 in 2023 being his best finish. His irons have been absolutely horrible here, but he's gained off the tee in every single trip to Minnesota. So I think Bo Hostler is worth a look at 80. Another guy who's probably just going to be one of my positional bets.
All right, I like that. Let's go to the triple digits. Before we get to the triple digits, 2 quick ad reads. First, we're brought to you by MyBookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet every single sport: MLB, golf, WNBA, and of course, football futures. They accept customers from everywhere, easy deposit, and lightning fast payouts using crypto. MyBookie.ag, promo code GOLF, SGPN, for 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Terms and conditions apply. That's MyBookie.ag, promo code GOLF, SGPN. Rhythm. You've heard us talking about Rhythm plenty of times, and they just dropped Power Trends, essentially the best of what their house model has to offer. Their AI detected patterns where Rhythm's model consistently has won at a high ROI. Think about a strikeout prop that wins 59% of the time when the line of probability hits a certain range. They're updated daily to Rhythm. No touts, no noise, just clean data backed bets. Download the Rhythm app, give out Power Trends, and start betting smarter. We will be. Get your 7-day free trial, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. All right, triple digits time, and then we'll wrap it back around. I'm going to go towards 200. I'm going to touch on Chris Ventura, Norwegian bomber, past, maybe future winner. Past stud at Oklahoma State. They breed golfers. Friend of Victor Hovland, guy who hits the ball very long, very straight, played really well at Torrey Pines. And I love his game on a golf course like this where you can unleash the driver.
Guess who my guy was in the triple
Ventura?
digits? Ventura. So I'm
Have to
stumped.
do it now.
That's
How
all I got.
mad would we be if Chris Ventura was T3 going into Sunday and we weren't on him?
I got
Very
I
mad.
got some notes on one guy, and that's the guy. All the guys in the triple digits.
Let's hear it. Do the
We have
Ventura thing.
we have pretty good history when we're on one of the same guys, especially
Unless
in
his
a
name is
race
Keith
like
Mitchell.
that. So right. Then we're
Banned.
screwed.
Banned.
Yeah.
What's your Ventura case? What do you like Ventura?
So rates out extremely well for me. He's made 4 straight cuts. Been gaining on approach 3 straight. He's gained at least 1 stroke on the field. I just think the number's too long. I mean, he's definitely showed us some flashes. And when you're betting a guy this deep down the board, you want to see something. And the way that he's been able to make cuts consistently over the past couple months is at least some hope. So
Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna go with another guy at around this number, maybe even longer. Alejandro Tosti off of, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6 straight missed cuts. But who could forget? He nearly won the Texas Children's Houston Open off of 3 missed cuts. And what got her, not got her up. What Toasty does well is what got her up does well. Drives it extremely long, extremely straight, extremely aggressive, and got her up I keep saying got her up. Toasty, when the number is right, is when I like to buy him because he can pop at any moment, make a ton of birdies, and just pop at random. He's been driving it well, which is what you need to do here. If the putter or the approach play can heat up, I'm in for Toasty. He's on no one's radar. I'll give him a shot at 200.
we got a comment on the screen. There we go. I agree.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
I love that.
Spray
If
the
you want to build
board.
a full card, 75 to 1 and up, not going to get killed.
I might bet 30 guys 200 to 1 and have a great ROI if someone hits.
Another guy who is probably more of a positional, but has some of the hotter irons, is Paul Peterson, 300 to 1. Solo second at the ISCO championship a couple weeks back.
Who could forget?
And he's, I mean, what's that? There was no shot link at Barracuda, but he was running 4 straight events, gaining at least 2 strokes on approach. So, I mean, he got out to a hot start at the Sony Open with the top 10, had a T12 at Puerto Rico, and then he's pretty much missed every single cut up until his solo second. But in a field like this at 300 to 1 with a guy who's coming in pretty good form, I think you can do worse.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all. You have anyone else you want to mention, or do you want to bring it back around and go through the bets and positionals?
I think that's it. Did you want to talk about some of these younger guys who are buried?
Yeah, we'll touch on the young guns. Brendan Valdez from Auburn. We talked about him before the show. He is. I mean, I talked about him being an unserious around the greens player. You're not gonna really need that here. So he's definitely long off the tee. He definitely can make birdies. And like, dude, Carl Phillips 250 to 1. He's not playing good golf, but like in a week where it's bomb it and make birdies, that's what these guys are used to.
Yeah.
I don't hate that at all. And even fucking Gordon Sargent 300 to 1. Gordon Sargent was playing some horrendous golf on the in college. Like lost his spot on this college team. That's how bad he was playing. But he had his PGA Tour card already, and he's starting great on the PGA Tour. Maybe he's just when the lights shine bright, he shines, because when he was 18, he won the national championship, the solo national championship. So,
and speaking about these younger kids, David Ford has yet to make a cut.
Crazy.
I did not expect him to start this bad.
Because his first start of the year, around like January, February, he was the first round leader in Dubai. Swiped the field, and then he finished like T70. But David Ford needs to figure it out.
He does. He gained just over a stroke on approach. Actually, his Scottish Open wasn't horrible. He just lost
in that field.
Almost 5 strokes putting.
Why was he in that field? Like, that's insane.
That
is really insane.
I don't know.
That is very weird.
I think he got in late.
But still, like, was it a sponsor? It had to have been a sponsor. Like, how was he in the field? It had to have been a sponsor. I mean, while you're looking up, I'll talk about my first outright of the week. I talked about him earlier, but I'm gonna go with Luke Clanton at 50 to 1. I've been high on Luke Clanton all year. I think that just buying the ceiling of him before he breaks out, then you're chasing, is good, because every one of these elite kids is gonna win eventually, and get on him, because like you get those Ludwig numbers, then he'll be 30 to 1, 20 to 1 every single week. So yeah. I'm going with Luke Clanton, 50 to 1. Good golf course for him. Unleash that driver. Hopefully get hot on the greens, because that's what he needs to do. He's doing everything else well.
My first one, I'm gonna go. I was gonna pair up Kurt with my other 40, but I'm checked out. I'm not doing that. So I will just start with Akshay Bhatia at 40 to 1. Like I said, game's starting to turn around.
Winner.
Irons and ball striking were hot at the Rocket. Decent Sunday at Port Rush. So Akshay Bhatia 40 to 1.
Yeah, I like that. I'm gonna go with down at 90 to 1. Ben On. Not playing good golf at all, but I think it's a good number for Ben On to get in the mix. He's only played here once to mix the cut, which is weird, because this is a golf course that should make sense for Ben On paper. Just bomb it. Hit the ball really high, stop it on these greens, which could potentially be a little firmer. So I'm down for Ben On at 90 to 1 to get into the mix, because early season he was like 35 to 1 every damn week. Now he's at a good number.
Yeah. A guy I didn't talk about, but who has pretty good history here and who has been running hot without PGA Tour membership. I'm going to go with Cam Champ at 66 to 1
Wow.
with a top 6 each way. Honestly, playing some impressive golf compared to
Truly.
the Cam Champ that we've seen over the years. I mean, he would go in stretches of months without gaining on approach, and he's been pretty good with the irons. We know what he's able to do off the tee. Really been gaining across the board this season, and keeps getting into these events. So a guy who is probably going to find his way on the PGA Tour next year.
My final one will be Justin Lauer at 250 to 1. My take with Justin Lauer all season long, I probably said it to you before, is I like him on golf courses that are long but require you to make birdies. That's kind of just where he pops, and this is definitely one of those golf courses. And he's coming off of his career best approach week at the ISCO. So I'm down for Justin Lauer to hopefully tap into some form. He's a streaky guy when he gets going in some lesser tour events. He plays well consecutively. So Justin Lauer coming off of a nice week at 250 to 1.
And my last one, I'm going to go Haotong Li, 70 to 1 of the top 6 each way. Like I said, I was pretty impressed what he was able to do for 4 straight rounds at Portrush. Should be able to lock in a PGA Tour card, being top 10 on the DP World Tour. And he wants to keep getting these top 10 finishes, or at least get into the top 50 in the world so he can keep playing this season. So Haotong Li, 70 to 1.
All right. I will go in the positional market. We'll do 2 positionals each. I'll start it off with the guy I mentioned earlier. We both think it's probably a better positional play than anything. Doug Gim, plus 280. Might not be long enough to spike and win here, but I think he'll hit enough fairways and make enough birdies, hit his iron close to finish inside the top 20. That's plus 280, Doug Gim.
I'm going to start with Bo Hostler, top 20 at plus 320 over on DraftKings. He's made 7 straight cuts. Had a really good Sunday at Barracuda yesterday. Mixed results at the 3M, but I think Hostler's playing good enough to be able to cash a top 20.
Awesome. And I will go with top 20, Minnesota's own Vikings fan, Frankie Sappin. Unserious golfer.
Oh, no.
But he lives for this event. Also, every single week, the EVR narrative at this event is really high, but it's kind of not this year because he went to Minnesota.
Yeah.
So but I'm gonna go with Frankie Sappin, 18 to 1 top 20. This is his Super Bowl. I'm sure he can finish out the top 20. 18 to 1, Frankie Sappin. He's not good at golf. I'll say that, but he can. He has he has one T12 that was at the Amex, and he finished T62.
Do you want to know?
Not really well here.
Do you want to know where I had him ranked heading into the year? You're gonna laugh. I was
as the rookies.
No, out of everyone on the PGA Tour, I'm pulling it up right now. It's gonna be higher than you think. I was so high on him. He was so consistent on Korn Ferry. He's young. Oh my God, 63rd.
I said 59th. That was a pretty good guess.
Pretty good guess. Yeah. Right below Steven Yeager, between Steven Yeager and Nicholas Norgard.
Wow.
Obviously, he's not doing it.
Did you rank how many players did you rank?
I ranked 194.
Who's last?
Will Gordon.
Who was 23rd?
Davis Thompson. Airball.
I like Davis Thompson this week. No, I like Davis. He could win this week. 45 to 1. I like Davis
Airball. Thompson. That was probably actually I had Sahith and Sungjae both in the top 12.
Sahith was the airball, but you didn't think he was going to get hurt.
Yeah. No. All right. My last positional, the numbers aren't out yet for top 40s, so this will be a top 40. But we'll say 6 to 1, Chris Ventura, top 20.
Love it.
Once the top 40 number comes out, I'm sure it'll be around 2 to 1, give or take, maybe 250. But like I said, making cuts, playing really well with the irons. So I'm going to go with Chris Ventura in any market, top 20, top 40.
Beautiful. There's 6 outrights, 4 positionals. Let's hit them all. Let's hit 6 outrights this week and keep the train rolling. We're on a good little run. Scotty last week, Grillo a few weeks ago, and then I think we had another one in there. Pot Geeter. Yeah, so let's keep the run going. You guys know where to find us. Any questions, hit us up. Dom, thank you for joining me, and I'll text you. No, I'll talk to you next week for whatever event we have. I don't know what it is, but we have one. So
this is when it gets good.
This is when it gets good. This is when we find the sneaky winners. So yeah, catch you guys soon. Thank you for joining. As always, peace out.
See ya.